I'm back. It's been a little minute. So, yeah, as you guys know, I've been in Portugal. I was playing ball in Portugal for a little while. Then when I came back, I kind of been, I've been on my other channel trying to build my other channel up. So, yeah. So basically, I'm going to talk about, recently, I haven't been on Tinder for like a long time, and I recently got back on Tinder, and they got this now they got this thing on there, right? So they got this new feature on there where you can add your Myers-Briggs type in there. Now you might think that's a good thing, I think that is a good thing. I'm gonna tell you why that's not a good thing, pretty much. And I'm just gonna tell you why in general you shouldn't use type to determine who you should date. It's just not a good idea. Well, I wouldn't say it's not a good idea completely, but I think it shouldn't be used, like, you shouldn't be taking it that seriously. Like, you shouldn't just base most of your decision on who to date off of what type they are. I mean, you kind of can keep it in mind. Like, you might know that, okay, this type is challenging for me to get along with. But you should always keep open mind, because it doesn't, like, there's a lot of variables that come into play when it comes to, like, two types in a relationship, or not even just in a relationship, dating or friendship, whatever. Too many variables come into play. It's not just Myers-Briggs. The main reason, though, actually, is not even that. Really, the main reason is because most of the dynamics that they have out about what types get along are not 100% accurate. This is a big reason. Like, for instance, like, if you go and do some research, they'll say that this type gets along with that type. But the thing is, a lot of it isn't that accurate. Like, when you go observe in real life, it'll be completely different. Mainly because a lot of people mistype, and it's like, sometimes, like, people can be gathering information on certain types, and they won't really, like, check and see if their person is actually that type. You know what I'm saying? They won't thoroughly check enough. Or, like, I mean, this happens more than you think it would happen. And people don't, like, think about that before they, make observations, or not even observations, but make certain assessments. Or they'll try to base what types would get along or what functions they have, and they won't actually try to like see what it's really like. Not even like seeing what it's really like, or they won't actually try to gather information correctly. They'll just go off of functions and be like, okay, like it's a math equation or something. But, like, even with functions, different combinations of function stacks would be unpredictable for how it meshes with other types. Like, I'm gonna use my type as an example. As you know, I've already kind of debunked this a while ago. They say ISTP, our best type we get along with is ENFJs, and they say our worst type is ENFPs, which is farthest thing from the truth. Like, they say that, but it's based on function. They didn't actually base that off of, like, seeing what real ISTPs are doing or who they're dating. Because in real life, quite a lot of ISTPs are, if you want to talk about if an ISTP ever gets in a long-term relationship, it's most likely going to be with an ENFP. It's not going to be with an ENFJ most likely. It's not very common. And actually, I mean, some of y'all might even disagree with this, but I'm just talking about real life. Like, in real life, a lot of ISTPs are in relationships with ENFPs, and it goes real well. Usually, some of the best relationships for ISTPs are with ENFPs. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they try to say that that's the type that we get along with the least, but it's not true. But that's the only reason they say that is if you guys got to look like deeper. Like, the only reason they saying that is because of the function stacks. Because some people that are convinced that function stacks determine who you get along with. Like, they think that if you have two people with different function stacks are not gonna get along automatically, or they gonna, like, disagree with a lot of things because they got, like, people don't understand, like, how unrealistic that is. And it's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times me having a different function stack from somebody, which of course would be the ENFP or even ISTJs, it'll make us actually agree on a lot of things. We'll just be coming to our conclusions from a different way, but we'll agree on a lot of things. We'll like a lot of the same things. It's not like that black and white. Like, people want, like, I'm telling you, a lot of people want stuff to just be black and white, man. They don't like to try to figure out the nuances of things. Like, that's common. A lot of people like that. And then they come approach Myers-Briggs with that same kind of energy, and it doesn't work. And they wonder why they don't understand it. It's because they try to make everything seem so black and white, or they try to make assumptions on what things are, and they don't really try to figure out like what does it really mean. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of they read stuff and then they just think they just got it after they read it. It's like you didn't like look at what they meant when they said that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm telling you, like, I rival a lot of people like you think are experts. You know what I'm saying? With this, I'm gonna just say I'm just as knowledgeable as anybody in Myers-Briggs. Anybody you see me on the website, I'm just as knowledgeable as all of them. It's anybody. I mean, I'm coming with my own perspective, and of course, me having a conversation with somebody else that's knowledgeable in my brain, I'm gonna learn something from them. We'll learn from each other, but of course, also they can learn something from me as well. That's basically all I'm saying. So yeah, man, it's just not a good idea. That's just another reason. Like, most specifically within, like, if you were to go and do some research and say, okay, which type should my type be with? You shouldn't do that. Just go and hang out with people and learn stuff. Because I'm telling you, what they say online is most of the time is wrong. But most of the time, those people, they lazy, man. Like they don't actually try to figure out what types really are together in real life. And they don't try to make observations. They just try to use it like it's a math equation. They try to do the function stacks like it's a math equation. Which doesn't work because people aren't robots. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of small nuances with human beings, and there's a lot of things that you can't really predict. But there are patterns, of course, on what types do get along. But I'm just saying you shouldn't base it off of that. Another thing I say though, too, is even if you know what types you do get along with, you shouldn't base it off of that, because a lot of it has to do with how healthy the type is. Like, you might hear me say, relationships, I have a hard time with ENFJs, but that doesn't mean if I meet somebody that's ENFJ, I'm just gonna say, I can't talk to you ENFJ. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'll at least give it a shot. You know what I mean? If unless they got something I don't like about them, of course. But I at least might give it a shot or something, man. But I mean, even then, I'm not gonna gravitate to ENFJ like that personally. I mean, sometimes it's just like that. Like, it's like certain types you might just not gravitate to naturally. And it's not gonna don't got nothing to do with you like knowing what type they are or anything like that. You just naturally don't, gravitate to them as far as romance. You know what I'm saying? But still, like, stuff like that is just dumb. Man, they say that ENFJs get and these ISTP supposed to be the perfect match. Like I was saying earlier, that was based on them looking at the functions, and they might have seen it work with two different types who were the opposite. Like, you know what I mean? Like, had the same function step in the opposite order, or it worked for them. That was their perfect match. So they think that all 16 types, it works the same way. That's what they do too. And it's not accurate. You know what I'm saying? Because every type, like, it's just little small things that are involved that don't have nothing to do with, like, well, I'm going to say no have anything to do with functions, but it's like the combination of two functions could create some type of unique effect on things. It's not always so black and white like that, But that's just a huge problem with people, man. Everybody wants everything to just be simple, and some stuff are not. They just want, I wouldn't say simple. They want everything to be just black and white. And a lot of times people, like, they just want to say they understand Myers-Briggs without fully understand it, so they could just boost their ego and be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm smart." You know what I'm saying? Which I don't like either. You know what I mean? Like, me personally, I went through the entire process of trying to understand Myers-Briggs. I really tried to understand it. I didn't just wake up one day, read a couple articles, say I understood it. It don't work like that. Like, you also got to kind of have a genuine interest in it to understand it, because you're going to get to some parts that's confusing and you're just going to try to skip over if you don't have a genuine interest in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you're just trying to it's real easy to do, man. Like, a lot of people, you could be a very intelligent person, book smart person, but you go read Myers-Briggs, you don't got no common sense, then you're not going to get it. You're just going to be pretending like you understand it. You know what I'm saying? I've had it happen to a lot of people. Like, I'm at the level where I could critique a lot of websites as far as my knowledge on it. I can learn a lot from them as well. Like I was saying, it's not me being arrogant, anything like that. Like, I'm a person that likes to listen and learn. I listen before I speak. That's the kind of person I am. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be overly humble. Like, because I made that mistake before. I've been too humble many times in my life because I'm always trying to be better, and I'm a perfectionist. You know what I mean? But that's another topic. But it's just I'm trying to make sure I said everything, but just a bad idea. Color, back to Tinder. Let me get back to Tinder. Why I brought up Tinder. I don't like the fact that they put that option on there because people are just gonna go on there, and a lot of people are just gonna have a sense of bias or something like that on there. They just gonna go on there and like they just gonna misuse it. They don't know like they don't know what that's about. They gonna go on there and they might go read an article on the type and they might just think they gonna think what they want to think. They don't know, like for instance, if y'all don't know, me and Tinder, like I could be if y'all don't know, I told y'all before, I probably could be a dating coach if I wanted to. I mean, I've been told that by people. But as far as how to use Tinder, I know how to use Tinder pretty well. Like, as far as a man, guys, we struggle with Tinder. It ain't for us. 99% of dudes don't get, like, they don't have a lot of they have a lot of problems with Tinder. They don't know how to use Tinder. Like, they don't have a lot of success on Tinder, stuff like that, like meeting people or being able to match and all that. I'm probably one of the few dudes that don't have that issue and stuff like that. But yeah, back to that. It's just a bad idea. It's funny because I was kind of I had somebody come and comment on this channel because I had comment on somebody else's video that was talking about Tinder. He's supposed to be an expert, kind of, and I actually get about as many matches as he does, which is kind of. So which lets me, it lets you know it's kind of, I get probably the upper echelon of, matches. Not to be trying to brag or sound arrogant or anything like that, but I commented something along the lines of just saying that, and I was trying to give people tips on there as well because I also know quite a lot of things about it. I could teach on it too. And then, somebody came and commented and looked, and he was like, "Oh, y'all might see." He was on my recent videos. I was like, okay. Anyways, but yeah, it's just people just gonna go on there. They're gonna misuse it. They're gonna be trying to make assumptions about somebody based on type. I didn't choose the option to say what my type is because people they gonna see people can see you a censor and everybody try to. I don't know. It's just stupid, man. You know how a lot of these people, this generation is just weird. Like a lot of weird shit going on in the world. A lot of way people think are just strange nowadays, and a lot of strange agendas are being pushed in the world. A lot of common sense, like a lot of people don't have common sense nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what they're gonna do. Yeah, I know how people are, my breath, how these people that don't know anything about it be acting. So it's like, man, I'm not even gonna put it in there. I wait. My thing is, I'll tell you what my type is after we meet. And another thing too, I've been noticing a lot of this Myers-Briggs stuff. It kind of been coming back full circle. Like it kind of went out of mainstream for a little while, and it's coming back again in a kind of more mainstream things. It might have something to do. It's just how it goes. I think like it kind of cycles out in and out like that. I think from what I've seen, it seems like it cycles in and out every like 10 years or something. Not like I've been around for but I like just looking back at history. Let's put it like that. It's kind of cycling back, so you got so that's why they put it on Tinder now. Whoever did that don't know nothing probably don't know much about Myers-Briggs either, other than everybody thinks that Myers-Briggs is just a test you take and then that's it. They don't know that there's functions. They don't know that the test don't got really much to do with what your type is. It's just it kind of helps sometimes, but it's not really the determining factor. And I know people talk shit about a lot of tests, but there actually are some tests that you can take and they'll get pretty close. It ain't as bad as people sometimes say. Like, tests are not a good way to find your type, but I say it's about 60%. It could be 60%. It could be right 60% of the time if you want to know my opinion. So that's not bad. 60% is not bad, but at the same time, it's not good enough to where you can. I say 6% as in barely passing, like a D. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about school grade, So it's not the best way to do it. But people are not going to put that work in to understand function. So you start, my thing is, I'll tell you what my type is after we, hang out. Because, people, if you tell them you a sensitive, people's opinion on senses, that's how that is. But pretty much everybody on the app going to say that this is saying they INFJ. Like, it's annoying. But That's pretty much what you're going to see. Everybody on there like, oh, I'm INFJ, I'm INFJ. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. And it's like, you don't really see anybody saying anything else, really. You might see somebody say they an STJ. You don't see a lot of people saying they sensors, even though probably a lot of them are. But that's just how it goes. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you check out. I'm gonna get back uploading on here. You know, I'm not in Portugal. I'm back home right now. So yeah. Done hooping. Still been trying to build on my other channel, but I kind of got it. That's a beach page. If y'all don't know, it's my beach channel. That's a lot easier to build than this because the way I talk about Myers-Briggs on here, I'm bringing the real side of Myers-Briggs. I'm not just bringing that shallow like BS that they put out there. So I know this is going to grow slower than probably other channels. Cause I'm not telling you what you want to hear on this channel like that. Like a lot of Myers-Briggs channels do, like the more popular ones. Which I mean, I'm not like it's no issue with me. Like I'm not really paying attention to what everybody else like progress. I'm just kind of moving at my own pace on this channel. So I'd rather have real people on this channel that really know how to think and use their common sense on here than just have a bunch of like just people on here that not gonna, they're just like fake, not have a bunch of fake the people that not really don't want to hear the truth, which is what happens when you have masses of people. Most masses of people don't want to hear the truth. So I'm all right with it. So there's no complaints here, but thanks for watching. Stay tuned.